What's up guys? In today's video I'm going to be answering a bunch of questions about my TT bike. It's been in a ton of videos and you guys have been asking a lot of questions about it. So I thought I'd just make a whole video sharing how much I paid for it, what are all the parts that are on it and how much I paid for those, and kind of what is the order of all the stuff that I got on the bike. So the first thing you probably want to know is how much I paid for this bike. Well, it's a little bit tricky because I bought the frame and the parts separately, and then I bought first off a first set of wheels, and now I have another set of wheels on that I bought kind of separately. So we'll start off with just the frame and all the components, including the handlebars and the seat post and all the cranks and everything. Basically everything except the wheels. So that cost me $1,500. And of course this is in Canadian money, so I guess that'd be around $1,000 US, maybe a bit more. You'd kind of have to convert that, but that's how much it cost me, Canadian dollars. And then afterwards, I bought my zips that are right here, which were $1,000 Canadian. So overall, the whole bike cost me $2,500. Now I upgraded to these wheels, which were also $1,000. So that kind of keeps the price the same since I'm going to be selling these hopefully for about $900 or so. So basically the cost of the bike stayed at $2,500. Of course I bought all these parts used. Of course these wheels are worth a lot more than that. Of course the frame and the components are worth a lot more than that. But buying everything used managed to get me at the price of $2,500, which I think is an amazing deal for the quality of the parts and just the quality of the whole bike in itself. So now we can talk about all the parts that it has, and you're gonna see that it just makes the deal sound even sweeter. So first off, we can start with the components of the bike. So the brakes are Shimano Dura-Ace. So front and rear we have Dura-Ace. Moving on to the derailleurs, they are both Ultegra. So they're the same generation as the Dura-Ace, but the derailleurs are Ultegra. So I'm not really sure why the previous owner didn't have Dura-Ace derailleurs. He only had the brakes and then Ultegra derailleurs. But for now, I don't really want to switch to Dura-Ace derailleurs since I don't think it's really worth the time for me to put them together. And of course, it's going to cost more money. And it's basically the same thing. So I'm just going to leave it at Ultegra unless I find a really good deal on Dura-Ace. Then I might consider switching them out and then maybe selling my Ultegra. But for now, it's going to stay as is. Now moving on to the crank, which is Dura-Ace. So these aren't actually the cranks that came with the bike from the previous owner. But before I assembled the whole bike, I actually traded the old cranks, which were some FSA ones that were a little bit heavier and they weren't the same ratio. So I traded those with my coach, just a straight trade, no money exchange, so it'd keep the price exactly the same, but these are actually lighter and they have a ratio that kind of fits me better, and it was the same ratio as my old cranks. So for these ones, the big ring is 53 teeth, and I believe the FSA was a little bit bigger. So I preferred this one, my coach preferred the other one, so we just traded and it worked out really well. Another thing to mention is that the bike came with these really nice Easton Attack TT handlebars. So they're super nice carbon fiber handlebars with integrated aero bars. So as you can see, it's not like a clip-on on top. The bars actually just go right into the handlebars. And these in themselves are worth a lot of money, probably around $800 brand new. So this was definitely a steal to get this on the bike included. It also came with a different saddle, but I switched it out to my Adamo saddle, which I really like, and I actually just gave the other one away since it was so crappy, and it was actually like a little bit broken too. So this was definitely an upgrade that I really wanted. And this cost me about $200, so that's kind of another thing that you could add on to the price. So technically the bike is about $2,700 now. The bike also came with this bottle cage, in case you were wondering. I think it matches really nicely, especially with my new wheels with the matte white and carbon fiber here, with a nice like matte white and black there. So next we can kind of move on to the story of the wheels. So when I bought this bike, I bought it with no wheels, and I actually had my zips that I still have. I had these zips that I've been using with my Cervelo, so just as a road bike wheel, but I decided to throw them on my TT bike when that became my main race bike, and just put the older wheels on my Cervelo, which were just kind of Roval something whatever training wheels that I still use on that bike now. So for the whole summer, my coach actually had these wheels in his basement. He was trying to sell them for somebody for $1,500, and she just wasn't really finding a seller. One day my coach just came up to me and he's like, she decided to bring her price down. She only wants $1,000 for them. So that's kind of when I pulled the trigger, because I know these are worth way more than $1,000, and I know I can sell these wheels for pretty close to $1,000. Talking about my Zips, of course. So I still haven't sold my Zips because I haven't really taken the time to try to sell them, but I'm sure I'm gonna be able to sell them for at least $900. So that's definitely gonna offset the price of these new wheels, which I definitely think were a huge upgrade since they are 2011 Easton EC90 TTs. So they're deeper dish than my old Zips, they're newer than my old Zips, and they basically cost the same. Came with a cassette as well, which is an Ultegra cassette. So one important thing to mention is that when I bought the bike, it was actually 100% disassembled. It was basically just a frame and a bunch of parts in a box. So I had to put everything back together, which is probably why I was able to get the price a little bit lower, is because I actually had to spend a little bit of work to put everything back together. Of course, since I'm a bike mechanic, that was really not a big deal for me. So there you go, that's my overview of my time trial bike that you guys have been asking for. It's called a Marinoni Rewind, is the name of the frame, with Easton EC90 TT wheels. So if you guys want to look up how much that would have cost, all brand new, I'm assuming if I priced all these parts at brand new, it'd probably be well over $5,000, $6,000. So buying used is definitely the way to go. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to put them in the comments down below. I'll be glad to answer them. Thanks for watching, and never stop trying.